Hey guys, back with another book. This one is attached, and this book is like known. It says right here over 2 million copies sold. It is known in the attachment style world, right? So this was such a good book, and it really made me think to the point where I was almost sad. Reading the book, because a lot of it was just like pointing out like, this is your trauma, like you think this is you, but it's your trauma. And that's like kind of like a sad thing to wake up to, because you're just like, you think you're moving through life as yourself, but you're like moving through life as your trauma, be that good or bad. Sometimes we people please, or not even sometimes we people please, sometimes we're a nice person and we're people pleasing because of our trauma and things like that. So it doesn't, your trauma doesn't have to make you a bad person or anything like that, but it does affect the way that you perceive life and the way that you move and groove through life. And this like was like a mirror reflecting that back. And I've done several self-help books this year, which if you follow me and you're like watching the videos, you'll see that. But this one, excuse me, I'm a little sick. This one really hit home for me. And I don't know if it's like, if I'm in a transition process, because I did just finish reading another book too, and I'm like thinking over it, and it wasn't a self-help book or anything like that, but just another book that I'm gonna do a review in a couple of videos from here. And I'm just thinking like, I read another book earlier this year similar, and and that book I was really like, like I can't. And with this new one that I just finished like literally this morning, I was just like, oh my God, this was such a beautiful book. You know what I mean? So I don't know if it's just like the place that I am in life, because we have to look at things like that too, like what we're able to hold in certain, you know, eras of our life, or whatever you want to say, certain moments in our life. But this really hit it hard for me. Again, I don't know if it's because I've read so many, and then I'm like, I am like literally doing the work. I'm like learning more about myself and things like that. So I'm doing the work, but I don't know what it was, but it really hit me, and it was so good, and it was just like really eye-opening and almost not traumatic. I don't know if that would be the word, but like almost like a traumatic experience. I don't know how to explain it, because it was just like I said, that mirror reflecting back at me like, girl, this is you, and this is why you're doing this, and like you need to stop. And you just kind of look at it. And this is a book that I was like, I did read in a week because that's what I'm doing. But for some people it might take longer, because you like, if you really want to sit and like digest everything and like see your different connections and relationships, because you're looking at people, like when you start to look at them as their attachment style, then you can like kind of see a lot more, and why they're moving and grooving the way they are, why you are drawn to them the way that you are repelled from them, and why you are moving and grooving the way that you are. So I don't know. I would recommend this to anyone who's, you know, working on their self, on their attachment. I just thought it was really such a great book. Easy to read. It goes through like scenarios, like they're explaining. I like the way too that they explained, like Tim is whatever male that this was his childhood, and this is what's going on in his current relationships. And they also gave examples of like what could be better, like what could have been better, how could this person have handled it. Because some of this stuff, like I was trying, like they have a part where they're like, what attachment style do you think it is, or whatever. And like most of them I could get, but there were a couple that I was like, I don't know. And I was like, they seem okay or whatever, but they would go through and break it down like, this isn't okay because this and this. And like a lot of times we think just because the person is nice that they're not dealing with things, but those people are dealing with things as well, because they just learned how to suppress it. They've learned how to suppress their trauma, like it didn't matter, and things like that, versus maybe like an avoidant who might like lash out or like, you know, remove their self from it, so then you kind of like feel that kind of thing, versus like an anxious person who like wants to come in closer. Like avoidance push you away, and anxious people want to come closer and probably tend to be like nicer people because they don't want to hurt somebody. Like they don't want people feeling the way that they feel, kind of thing. But yeah, so highly recommend. Into the next one.